What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on my reaction channel. Watching the boy who grew up to kill 35 people in 24 hours. What the hell? 35 people in 24 hours? This nigga's a demon. Let's get into it.
If you think the snakes, spiders, and sharks are the deadliest things in Australia, just wait until you learn more about today's killer, who only needed one day to take the lives of 35 people and destroy the lives of countless others. Welcome back to Twisted Minds. My name is James, and today we're going to be unraveling the explosive story behind Martin Bryant, the most notorious mass murderer in Australia's history, and a man responsible for one of the worst single-person mass shootings the world has ever seen, the Port Arthur Massacre. It's been 25 years since this
I've never heard about this event,
which has since resulted in the Australian state placing extensive restrictions on gun laws. And a buyback scheme was initiated in which over 643,000 firearms were handed back, which cost the government around $350 million.
Damn.
The country no longer allows adults to purchase any type of firearm without a license.
Don't let Americans hear that, bro. They're trying to take our guns. 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 They're trying to take our guns. Guns.
Bryant was born on the 7th of May, 1967, at the Queen Alexandra Hospital in Hobart, Tasmania. The first child of Maurice and Carleen Bryant.
Oh my God,
the
bro.
couple couldn't possibly know the horrors that were to happen because of their son. A violent and disruptive child, Martin was severely bullied at school. This led Martin to becoming the bully to children younger than him and weaker than him. This behavior led to some quick punishment, with Martin being suspended from Newtown Primary School in 1977 at just the age of 10 years old. He would soon undergo the first of many psychological assessments. Here it was discovered that Martin liked to kill and torture animals, and that he had an IQ of only 66, making him legally mentally disabled.
What?
The following year...
Hold on. So what's like the, I don't know the rankings for it, bro. I think I'm gonna do IQ test, bro. I'm gonna do IQ test and post it, bro. Holy bro, that's gonna be so great, cause I'm smart as shit. I'm smart as fuck. But what the fuck was I even talking about?
In 1978, Martin returned to school with greatly improved behavior, but it wasn't to last. After failing
I hate
to
when that shit
befriend
happens,
any of
bro.
his
I did have a
classmates,
thought in
he
my
returned to
mind.
bullying the younger children. When he was just 14 years old, Martin got his first firearm. It was an air rifle that his father had bought for him as a present.
Okay.
The young boy would carelessly fire the weapon from a distance at drivers passing by and shoot down birds. This cruel habit of killing innocent animals earned the boy the nickname...
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Like, literally every serial killer just like enjoys like killing animals and shit, weird shit like that, bro. Like every serial killer documentary, or like mass murder documentary, it's always like in the childhood they start off with them fucking like them little birds and fucking cats and shit, bro, doing weird shit, bro. If you ever catch your kid fucking with them animals, bro, you better pray.
Silly Martin, with children saying that he had no sense and no feeling for other living creatures. High school wasn't much better for Martin, as he was transferred to a special education unit at Newtown High School in 1980 to help with his learning disability. In 1983, after he left school, the boy was assessed for a disability pension. In his assessment, the psychologist wrote that the young man could not read nor write, although he was able to garden. His parents' efforts prevented further deterioration, and due to the possibility that their son could be schizophrenic, they faced a bleak future with him. Through this assessment, Martin was awarded the disability pension, although he also worked as a handyman and a gardener. His mental disabilities are possibly one of the main reasons he had such a difficult time connecting with others, and what ultimately led to one of the most horrific mass shootings in the world.
That's so crazy, bro. Like, if you saw that guy in the street, bro, you think he's just a regular human, real, probably like a cool, like, stoner dude, bro. And he's like schizophrenic, sociopath, serial killer, bro. Like, mental illness is crazy, bro.
For the next 5 years, Martin remained at home with his parents.
Still like a little chill ass surfer nigga, bro.
In early 1987, when he was 19 years old, Martin finally made his first real connection with another person, a 54-year-old woman called Helene Mary Elizabeth Harvey. She was an heiress to a share in the Tattersall's lottery fortune. Martin came across Miss Harvey whilst looking for new customers for his lawn mowing service. Miss Harvey, who lived with her mother Hilza, ended up befriending the unusual man, which led to him becoming a regular visitor to the woman's neglected mansion. Whenever he visited, Martin would help the older woman with chores, such as mowing the lawn and helping to feed her 14 dogs and 40 cats.
40 cats?
With this newfound friendship, it seemed like things might be looking up for the eccentric man. With the amount of animals in the house and the fact that the two elderly women couldn't clean up after them properly, it was no surprise when a neighbor reported Miss Harvey to the health authorities for the mess that was her home. Upon inspection, medics found that both Miss Harvey and her mother were in need of urgent hospital treatment due to the unsanitary conditions that they had been living in. Unfortunately though, it was too late for Hilza Harvey, and she died at the age of 79. With her mother gone, Miss Harvey decided to invite Martin to live with her in the mansion, to which he happily accepted. Though it was never proven, some people believe that the couple's relationship went beyond that of just two friends. The two started spending large amounts of Miss Harvey's money, including buying more than 30 new cars in less than 3 years.
Oh, she had money!
They also went shopping daily and ate out at restaurants. With all of that money, his first real friend, and a chance to be normal, you might think that Martin would finally start to be better. But you'd be wrong. At around the same time that the future killer moved in with the lottery heiress, he was reassessed for his pension disability, and the outcome was even worse than before. The psychiatrist attached a note to his assessment, which read, "Father protects him from any occasion which might upset him as he continually threatens violence. Martin tells me he would like to go around shooting people. It would be unsafe to allow Martin out of his parents' control." You would think that with such a shocking and disturbing evaluation, that Martin would be taken to a mental health facility and monitored. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case, and so, although he didn't live with his parents anymore, they were always close by to keep an eye on him. In 1991, Miss Harvey decided to buy a 29-hectare farm called Torresville in the small town.
People like that, you gotta put in a mental institution.
And Martin moved into the new house together, to the displeasure of their neighbors, who disapproved of their relationship. Not only did they not like the relationship, but all of the locals were very wary of this new and unusual man. Late at night, he would roam around the neighborhood, firing his air rifle at dogs when they barked at him. He would also fire it at tourists as they stopped to buy apples at a stall on the highway. Not signs of a mentally stable man. It was no wonder why people tried to avoid him at all costs, despite his efforts at befriending them. On the 20th of October, 1992, Miss Harvey had passed away. Although the case is still a bit dubious as to how her death actually occurred, the story goes that she and Martin were traveling in the car together with Miss Harvey's two dogs when it suddenly veered onto the wrong side of the road and hit an oncoming car head-on. Miss
suddenly swerved and hit the others. Bro, you already know what he did, bro. You already know he did that shit, bro. What the fuck? I want to know if Miss Harvey knew about his mental conditions. Like, she had obviously had to know, bro.
Harvey and her two dogs were instantly killed, and Martin suffered severe neck and back injuries. Police investigated his potential role in the incident, as he had been known to lunge for the steering wheel whilst the car was moving. He had caused Miss Harvey to crash 3 times already. Miss Harvey had been so fearful of Martin that she had even confided in her neighbors that he was the reason why she couldn't drive faster than 37 miles per hour. Although police did investigate him, Martin told them it was the dogs roaming around freely which caused the crash, and he was subsequently
How the fuck did he get away with that, bro?
Martin was named the sole
How did
beneficiary
he get
of Miss Harvey's will,
Yo!
of assets totaling more than $550,000. However, because of Martin's low IQ, he wasn't able to look after his own finances, and so his mother applied for and was granted a guardianship order to place Martin's assets under the management of public trustees, which ended up being his father.
Yo, that is fucking insane.
But the tragedy didn't stop there. After Miss Harvey's death, Martin went back to live with his mother, whilst his father looked after the farm that his son had inherited. It was around this time that his father, Maurice Byron, tried to buy a small bed and breakfast near Port Arthur. However, before he could get his finances in order, the building was bought by another couple, David and Nolene Martin. Martin tried to buy the business off of the couple, but they refused. In the months that followed, his father, Maurice Byron, fell into a deep depression, which he often blamed Martin for. And on the 16th of August, 1993, divers found his body in the lake of the property with a diving weight belt around his neck. This would later be one of the big things that pushed Martin over.
I mean, hell yeah, it'll push me over the edge too.
As a suicide, although there are those who believe that Martin actually killed his father so that he was able to access his money, which his father had financial guardianship over.
I don't think so. I think that nigga was really depressed and that nigga really killed himself because his son was the way he was, bro. And damn, bro, that's fucked up. Like to have that on your conscience, bro. Like as Martin, like I feel that for him, bro. Cause everybody want to be loved by their peoples, bro. Like nobody want to be a disappointment, bro.
In the aftermath of his father's death, Martin inherited his $550,000, which Miss Harvey had left for him, as well as $250,000 from his father. Now that he was alone, Martin's unusual and eccentric personality started showing through more and more. He was often seen sporting a gray linen suit, a cravat, lizard skin shoes, and a Panama hat, and would try to talk to random strangers, telling them that he had a well-paying career. As his mental health declined and his need for companionship grew, Martin would often go on multiple trips overseas just so that he could talk to people on the plane. Forced to be polite, people would have to talk to him. However, they still felt that he was incredibly creepy. But this was not enough to satisfy his dire need for friends, and his mental health got
Damn.
In late 1995, Martin became suicidal after deciding that he had had enough. I just felt more people were against me. When I tried to be friendly toward them, they just walked away, he said in an interview. In his loneliness, Martin quickly turned to alcohol, and in the 6 months prior to the Port Arthur massacre, his consumption increased exponentially. According to Martin, he first thought of the plan for Port Arthur 4 to 12 weeks before it took place, and based it off the Dunblane massacre, which had happened in Scotland, UK, only 1 month prior to Martin's attack. At some point during the years leading up to the horrendous attack, Martin had managed to legally buy himself an AR-10 semi-automatic.
Yo, like he's like literally known to have a low IQ, yet he was able to like get a weapon and shit like that. Known like his psychiatrist knew all that shit. Like people knew, like it's not like he's fucking like crazy in the dark, bro. He's like openly crazy, bro. And he was able to buy an AR, bro. That sound like here, bro. Ain't no cap. Like the guns.
Automatic rifle, an AR-15 rifle, an L1A1 self-loading battle rifle, and a USAS-12 automatic
legally.
He also visited the Port Arthur historic site multiple times in the months leading up to the tragic event and bought a large
Stop!
sports bag, which he said needed to be strong enough to hold large amounts of ammunition. It seemed that Martin was determined to go through with his plan. On the 28th of April, 1996, Martin put his plan in action. He was unusually awoken at 6 a.m. by his alarm clock. During interviews after the massacre, his girlfriend of the time and his remaining family said that it was strange, as he had never used the alarm clock before. At around 9:45 a.m., after his girlfriend had left for the day, Martin left his home and headed toward Port Arthur, along with all of his weapons and his bag full of ammo. By 11:45 a.m., he had arrived at the Seascape Bed and Breakfast, the very one that his father had been unable to buy. Martin apparently believed that the owners, the Martins, had deliberately bought the property to hurt his family and blamed them for his father's depression, which ultimately led to his death. An act he decided that they would pay for with their lives. Martin fatally shot the Martins in the guest room of their house before making his way to Port Arthur. They were the first two victims of his devastating massacre. Once at Port Arthur, Martin went into the Broad Arrow Cafe, carrying his large blue sports bag. He ordered a meal and made small talk with the tourists in the small shop, acting as if he was just another visitor on a day out. Unfortunately, his plans were much more sinister. After finishing his meal, Martin moved toward the back of the cafe, which had around 60 to 70 guests in it at the time, and set up a video camera on an empty table. He then took out his AR-15 semi-automatic rifle and started firing into the crowd of innocent people. Within only 15 seconds, the cold-blooded killer had fired 17 shots, killing 12 people and injuring another 10. Martin then walked toward the gift shop, where people had tried to hide, and fired 12 more times, killing another 8 people and wounding. Outside of the cafe, a group of people had gathered, believing the gunshots to be part of a reenactment play. Martin took this opportunity to refill his ammo and leave the cafe, only to callously shoot into the crowd in the car park.
There's somebody going crazy shooting people here. There he is. He's over there. Can't believe it.
Martin then got in his car and drove away, leaving 4 more people dead and 6 more injured. Only 300 meters down the road, 36-year-old Nanette Meekark was walking with her 2 daughters, 6-year-old Alana Meekark and 3-year-old Madeline Meekark. Martin saw the family as he drove and pulled over. Not knowing what had just happened down the port, Nanette had no idea how dangerous the man was. In the blink of an eye, Martin shot and killed Nanette and Madeline, who she was carrying in her arms. Alana tried to run away, however, in an act of true heartlessness, Martin chased after her and killed her with a single shot. Continuing with his rampage, Martin stole a gold BMW after killing all 4 of its occupants. He then drove a short distance down the road and pulled up alongside a white Toyota with a couple inside. He took out one of his weapons and ordered the male occupant of the car to get into the boot of the BMW, before then shooting and killing the female driver. At around 2:10 in the afternoon, the mass murderer returned to the Seascape guest house, set the stolen car on fire, and took his hostage inside, where the bodies of the Martins still lay. During this time, 2 police officers had been called about the roadside murders. Tried to approach Martin, however, he opened fire on them, causing them to hide in a ditch and become pinned down. It wasn't until around 9 p.m. that a special operations group of the Tasmania police team arrived on the scene. They rescued the pinned down officers, and for the next 18 hours, a tense standoff between Martin and
18 hours?
At first, the police tried to negotiate with the killer, but it was cut short when the battery on Martin's phone ran out. His only demand had been that he wanted to be transported to an airport in an army helicopter. During negotiations,
he was never getting that. You could tell how low his IQ was.
Hostage, bringing the total number of people killed in his monstrous rampage to 35, whilst a further 23 were injured. The next morning, in a last-ditch attempt to escape, Martin set fire to the guest house and tried to get away amidst the confusion. This didn't work, and instead, the killer was captured and taken to Royal Hobart Hospital to have his burns treated.
Nah, they gotta put him down, bro. I ain't gonna cap.
He was kept under heavy guard the entire time.
You gotta put him down, bro. What the fuck?
After his arrest, Martin was held in custody without the chance to
smiling
bail.
and
Whilst
shit.
he was awaiting trial, he was examined by court-appointed psychiatrist Ian Sale, who believed that Martin possibly suffered from a mixture of conduct disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity, and Asperger's syndrome. Not that that excused the horror that he had just committed. Eventually, Martin was judged fit to stand trial, which happened on the 7th of November, 1996. Initially, the mass murderer pleaded not guilty, but his court-appointed lawyer, John Avery, later convinced him to change his mind and plead guilty to all charges. 2 weeks later, Martin was given 35 consecutive life sentences, one for each victim killed in his attack. He was also given an additional 1,652 years in prison for attempted murder and grievous physical harm to numerous people. The sentence was issued with no chance of parole, the first of its kind. So it's safe to say that he's never getting out. Throughout his imprisonment, the once formidable killer attempted to take his own life on 8 separate occasions. The latest being in 2007, when he tried to slit his own throat with a razor blade, forcing him to be briefly hospitalized before being returned to prison. In recent exclusive interviews, Martin has been documented to have become severely overweight as he refused to join in on exercise in the prison courtyard. He has also been noted to have declined even more mentally, to the point where he is willing to trade sexual favors for chocolate. As of 2021, the unremorseful mass murderer is being housed in the maximum security Risdon prison.
What the fuck, bro? He was giving up that ass for chocolate in prison, bro.
Because of the weapons that Martin used in the massacre, along with the fact that he was able to legally and easily purchase the guns despite his history of violence, the Australian government decided that some serious reforms were needed in terms of their gun laws. The legal ownership and use of self-loading rifles, self-loading shotguns, and pump-action shotguns were either banned or heavily restricted. And a buyback scheme was initiated in which over 640
bro really chased down that little girl, bro.
Handed back,
That's
which
fucked.
cost the government around $300
Yo, I can't even imagine that shit, bro.
Since the Port Arthur massacre, there have been many conspiracy theories behind what actually happened that day. Some people believe that it was a setup by the Australian government so that they could enact stricter gun laws, as there had been a number of mass shootings before the Port Arthur one took place. Others believe that Martin wasn't actually the shooter, as witness descriptions didn't match his appearance. These are just some of the theories that people have come up with. However, none have been proven to be true. Thanks for tuning in to Twisted Minds. That was the case of Martin Bryant. And why don't you go ahead and click on one of the 2 videos on your screen for another one of our videos.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna like this channel, bro. Oh my god, bro, that is fucked. Well, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna go pray, bro. What the fuck?